Hey YouTubers, it's Platt, and we're working our way through the Belgian beer style still. And today we're going to go and talk about the Belgian Saison. Let's quickly go over the numbers. Our SRM is going to be between 5 and 7. The IBUs on this beer is 20 to 38. Our ABV is going to be between 4.4 and 6.8%. And we're going to serve this particular beer at 45 to 55 degrees. These beers can also be known as Belgian farmhouse ales. And the reason that is these beers were originally produced on the farms in the French-speaking regions of Belgium. Because they were produced on the farms, they were intentionally made to be refreshing for the farm workers. And the earlier versions of this beer were lower in ABV than what we drink today. And that's because, obviously, you didn't want the farm hands, getting all, wrecked on the beers. The American versions of these beers tend to have a few more ingredients. The American brewers tend to try to expand this style a little bit more than the traditional Belgian brewers. The beer-wise, or color-wise, this beer is a pale to a light brown in color. You're going to get a slight haze on these beers, and that's because they're bottle conditioned, which means there's yeast left inside, which means you need to be careful with the pour because you don't want to dump too much yeast into your glass. And also these beers are highly carbonated, which again means you want to be careful with the pour because you want too much head. You want just a nice head, which you will definitely get on this beer. Because the ABV gets close to 7, you will get a mild alcohol sensation on this beer, but again, the core concept of the beer, the original concept, was to be more of a session style beer. You're going to get a low to low medium hop aroma on this beer, but the bitterness wise, you'll probably get medium plus on the bitterness end. You'll get a low malt flavor on this beer, but there's enough to provide balance. And you'll get kind of the classic kind of biscuit malts, or the classic Belgian style malt, not a big darker malt, but the more on the lighter flavored malts. You might get some sour and acidic notes on these beers, but they're not like the traditional lambics. But because of the style they produce, or the style of beer, you might get a little Brettanomyces in the beer itself. So you could pick up some of that sourness, but it's not intentionally done like with lambic or ghost beers. Yeah, excuse me. These beers tend to have a soft body that produces a short to medium finish. Food-wise, you pair these with seafoods like mussels, cheeses like bries, maybe a dessert like a lemon sorbet. The particular beer we're drinking today is Saison Dupont, produced actually on a working farm, a farm that's still working today. They also produce breads and cheeses there. This beer is probably the prime or the perfect example of this style of beer. So much so that in 2005, Men's Journal ranked this the best beer in the world. So I'm kind of excited to try the one-time best beer in the world. Let's give her a try. Alright. I've got a nice about inch, really light white head. I do got a little bit of the haze, but it's not too much. You can't see on camera, but they're fast rising bubbles, so I can tell this is pretty carbonated. Let's give her a smell. I actually get a little bit of the malt on the nose. It's definitely apparent. I get a slight hint of orange, a little bit of honey, almost in a mead kind of way. There's a little spice on the nose, maybe like a white pepper kind of thing. All right, let's give her a try. I get a little orange, orange sweetness almost hit me in the front. That malt still kind of comes through, but not as quite as powerful as what I got on the nose. I almost get a little bit of that Heineken kind of skunk to it. Not as pronounced, but I get that. I get almost a taste like I'm drinking this outside for some reason. Yeah, there's like I said, a skunk to it, but there's a sweet, or there's a little malt, there's a little spice to balance out that skunk. You know, if you ever had a Heineken, just straight skunk, a light beer skunk. This has more complexity to it. Like I said, I pick up more pepper. There's enough malt in there to kind of balance. As far as body or just, I guess, drinkability, this is a very drinkable beer. It goes down nice. Really, I noticed a punch in my tongue, in front of my tongue, which I'm kind of surprised by. The carbonation I like kind of brings a refreshing nature to this beer. Overall, this is a very good beer. Has a little spice, has a little fruit, has a little sweet, but between the carbonation and there's enough hops to it and the kind of skunky thing, it kind of brings balance to that. Overall, man, really nice beer, and I can definitely see where this would be a great summertime beer, and I can see where the lower ABV version would absolutely be great, again, to drink while out working in a field or whatever. Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe down below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always leave them in the comments section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.